Hello and welcome to CHD 120 Introduction to Early Childhood Education. My name is Maggie Charlton and I'm going to be your instructor for this semester. For a lot of you, this may be the first course that you're taking on your way to either a certificate or an associate's degree in early childhood development. And if so, then I'd like to welcome you to the program. I am the program head for early childhood development on the Virginia Beach campus. So if this is your first time, then I'd like to welcome you, and I hope that I'm going to see you in the future. You're always welcome to contact me if you have any questions about anything other than just this course, if you have any questions about the program in particular. But for the summer semester, I thought I wanted to try something a little bit different. And so I am hoping to make a video announcement for each week, kind of introducing you to what we're going to be going over that week, any assignments that I'm introducing or that are due for that week, as well as any other helpful information that I think you may find beneficial to you. So, a few things that I wanted to do in this first announcement is to introduce you to how I have Blackboard set up for you, kind of give you some hints of things that you can do to make sure you're going to be successful in this class, and really kind of just give you an overview of Chapter 1, which is what you're going to be reading this week. So first, let's look at Blackboard. So if you are not familiar with Blackboard, I wanted to show you how I have it set up for you so that you don't have any questions moving forward. So if you look over on the left-hand side, you'll see that there are three areas in our menu. The first is Getting Started, the second is Course Content, and the third is Course Tools. So in this first section, Getting Started, you'll see there's a link for the announcements, which actually is going to be the first thing that you see when you open up Blackboard each time. Each Monday, you're going to find a new announcement waiting for you when you enter the class that is going to give you all the information you need for that week. Start Here is going to be a place where you can find a lot of good college policy information, and course information is going to be where you can find the syllabus, the course schedule, the grading policy, and things like that. The second section is probably where you're going to spend most of your time in the course content. So the first link is course content, and each week there's going to be a new folder added that has the information for that particular week. Right now, you're only going to see week 1 in this folder because I feel like you don't need to be bombarded right off of the top. So every Monday morning, that week's content folder is going to be available for you. This next link is the assignments link, and this is where I'm going to load all of your assignments, all of the information that you need, as well as the link for submitting it through Blackboard. When you click on this link now, you're going to find that it's empty because I don't like to throw all of the assignments out at once and leave you to work on your own. You can see all of the assignments that you're going to be doing on the syllabus, but I like to introduce the assignments one at a time, especially because I've aligned them with certain chapters or content in our book. So don't freak out now because there's nothing in assignments. I promise everything is in there. I just haven't made it available for you to view yet. And then this last one is discussions. Some weeks there are going to be discussion boards that you need to answer. If there is a discussion board, you're going to find the link to it in that week's content folder, but just in case you have trouble accessing it, you can also click on it here. And just a quick word about discussions. Whenever I have you do a discussion board posting, normally what I'm asking you to do is to respond to the question or the scenario, and then you need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Preferably, I'd like for you to post your response by Wednesday so that not everyone is trying to reply to 2 people on Sunday. The classes are going to run from Monday morning until Sunday at midnight. So anytime anything is due, the due date is going to be Sunday at midnight. And for discussion board postings, I don't necessarily have a word count where I'm expecting you to meet a certain requirement, But what I do want to see is that you have spent the time to read and reflect on what your classmates have posted. So I like to see something more than great job, great post, I agree with you. That's always a great place to start, but I'm looking for a little bit more substance in there. Again, I just would like to see at least a good paragraph that kind of remarks on what they said. Maybe if you have any additional comments you want to make or questions, but as long as you follow those guidelines, then you're going to get 100 on every discussion board posting. And then moving to our final section of the menu is course tools. And so you'll see that there's a link for my grades. So at any point during the semester, you can click on that and you can see how you're doing in the class. I try really hard to grade everything within a week of its due date. And so that way you can always know where you stand in the class. Student services and course tools are going to be links where you can find information about accessibility services, computer labs, sending emails to your classmates. Those are going to be found in student services and course tools. And then this last link here is tasks. I'm working on that now, but this is going to be a place that's kind of a checklist for your assignments and when they're due. So I just kind of wanted to introduce you to how Blackboard is set up for you. And so the next thing I want to do is just kind of give you a few tips of how to be successful in this class. One of the first things that you notice on the syllabus is that there is an attendance policy. Now, for an online class, you're obviously not meeting face to face, so logging into Blackboard counts as your attendance. The weeks where you have a discussion board posting, that's going to be your attendance and participation for the week. If there are weeks where you don't have a discussion board posting, then simply logging on to Blackboard during that week is going to count as your attendance. Another thing that's really important for you to know is my grading policy. And this is in the syllabus as well, but I think it's important for you to know right off of the bat what my policy is so that you can be prepared for it. All of the assignments that I give you have a due date, but I do give a grace day. So since everything will be due by midnight on Sunday, the grace day actually gives you until midnight on Monday. And the reason I do this is because I understand that life happens. Kids get sick, cars break down, we have appointments. And so I don't want to penalize you if you have been working really hard to get your assignments done, but yet you just can't get it submitted by midnight on Sunday. However, once the grace day has passed, then assignments will not be accepted past that. This semester only has 10 weeks, so it's a little bit more fast paced. And so, in order for me to keep up with grading and you to keep up with your assignments, once the grace day is passed, I have to say that I can't accept assignments anymore. And then the last thing that I really kind of wanted to touch on for this first week is just kind of the class in general. This class is meant to be an introduction to a lot of different topics in early childhood education. None of them are going to be very, very detailed, but it's going to be a great introduction to 16 different topics. There's 16 chapters in our book. And speaking of our textbook, this is the textbook that you should have for this class. So please make sure this is the one that you're working from. But for each of the chapters, it's just kind of an introduction to something in early childhood education. So, for instance, one of the first things you're going to talk about in chapter 1 is about developmentally appropriate practices, as well as NACCE, which is the superior organization that kind of guides what we consider high quality in early childhood education. Some other topics that we're going to be discussing are going to be the physical arrangement of the classroom, developing a developmentally appropriate schedule, looking at the different domains of children's learning, helping children cope with stress. So there's going to be a lot of different topics that you're going to get some great information on, but I wanted you to know that the way this course is set up is meant to really give you a really great foundation in early childhood education, But the remaining CHD courses are going to take all of these different topics and they are going to expand on them. For instance, when we go into the chapter on language development in our book, CHD 118 and 119 both are for language development. When we talk about guiding the behavior of children, CHD 205 is all about guiding the behavior of children. So I really just kind of wanted you to know from the start that this is just meant to be an introduction to a lot of different things in early childhood education. For this week, all that I'm asking you to do is to read the first chapter of the book and review the PowerPoint slides that go along with it. Every chapter that you read is going to have PowerPoint slides that accompany it, just to kind of pull out the important information for you. The only other assignment you have for this week is to introduce yourself to the rest of us on the discussion board. So there's a link to that discussion board forum in this week's folder, but you can also access it by going to the discussions link that I showed you on our left-hand menu. So hopefully you enjoyed this introduction to our course. Again, I've never tried this before, so if it's something that students seem to enjoy, I am happy to continue doing it. But a lot of times for online classes, we feel like we don't have the same amount of interaction. And so I just kind of wanted to make part of it a little face-to-face. So if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. The best way to contact me is through my email, which is mcharlton@tcc.edu. That's how you're going to get the quickest response. But other than that, I look forward to working with all of you this semester. Again, if you are just starting the program, then welcome. I can't wait to work with you in the future. I teach 7 different classes in early childhood development. And so the reason I do that is so I get a chance to keep up with students as they go throughout the program. So enjoy reading chapter 1. Make sure to pay attention to developmentally appropriate practice and NACE because those are going to be terms that you're going to see throughout the semester. So have a great time reading chapter 1, and I can't wait to get to know all of you on the discussion board. I hope we have a wonderful summer.